Hello beautiful booktubers, I'm Beckie Bookworm and I'm here to do part 2 of my book haul. Today I am book hauling second-hand books. So we have Women Who Run With Wolves by Clarissa Pinkola Estes. This is a bit of a beta book I bought on a whim because Holly over at Holly Exley Illustration actually got a copy and I just thought it sounded very interesting. So I'll read a bit that it says on the back of the book. It says, "The wild woman carries with her the bundles for healing. She carries everything a woman needs to be and know. She carries the medicine for all things." So it looks at feminine wildness as a positive and necessary quality for women to carry and cultivate, which I think sounds really interesting. I hope it will be, because I think a few weeks ago when Holly did try and read it, she actually said it wasn't as good as she thought it was going to be, so I guess we'll see what I think. Next up are some real blasts from the past. So we have Point Horror. Does anybody else remember Point Horror? If you were a teenager in the 90s, it's likely that you read these. I think after this came Goosebumps. I kind of missed out on that because I was too old for them when they came. But Point Horror were the books I was obsessed with. I remember getting them out of the library and they were amazing. This one is The Lifeguard by Richie, Tankersley, Kuzak, I think it is. Sorry if I've butchered that name. But this tells the story of Kelsey, who's a teenager. Her and her mum have gone to stay with her mum's boyfriend and the family at this beautiful island where it's very beachy and it seems very nice, it's very touristy. When they get there, they find out that Beth, the youngest daughter of that family, has gone missing and nobody knows what's happened to her. The lifeguards have been out looking for her and everyone is frantic. Now, some of the sons from that family are actually lifeguards. It seems to be a common thing for young people to do on that island. Now, Kelsey meets a strange lifeguard. No, she doesn't. Now, Kelsey meets a strange man at the lighthouse who seems like the local town weirdo, and he starts saying really cryptic and warning things to her, and it starts to worry Kelsey and she starts to question things and see things and wondering why Beth has gone missing, and also there's a spate of other missing girls that comes to light. As she investigates this, she realises that she might not actually be safe. Now, I have read this. I haven't done a wrap-up of it yet, but I did a buddy read, and I'll talk about that in my wrap-up. And yet another, I have been on a Point Horror buying mission. We have The Window by Carol Ellis. Look at that cover. Woo! So, The Window tells the story of Jodie. She's on a skiing holiday, but she's sprained her ankle, so she spends most of her time just gazing out of her window, watching the world go by and being a bit nosy. Now, one day in her lovely neighbour's window, she sees a fight and possibly a murder, and she doesn't know if they saw her too. And that's all I know. I'm hoping it sounds quite exciting, and I think Carol Ellis was one of the better authors that I remember from Point Horror, but a lot can change since I was a teenager, so I guess we'll see. And finally, for Point Horror, is Camp Fear, also by Carol Ellis. Camp Silverdale is full of people with fears, and they're all trying to conquer those fears. The camp counsellors are scared that the terrible secret that they've been hiding for 7 years since they were camp visitors or campers or whatever will be discovered. Somebody has discovered their secret and is taking revenge on these camp counsellors. Sounds spooky, sounds good. I wonder what happened. The Snake Stone by Jason Goodwin. And this was a pure cover buy. I got this from a shop when I was in London. Just nice, I like it. Yashim is a detective in Istanbul, and the person he's investigated is found brutally murdered and dumped outside the French embassy in Istanbul. Unfortunately for Yashim, he is the #1 suspect, so he's in a race against time to get to the bottom of it and find out who the real killer is. Thou Shalt Not Suffer a Witch by Dorothy K. Haynes and illustrated by Mervyn Peake. This is a collection of short stories, all to do with nightmares, superstition, haunting tales, set in shadowy regions where fantasy and reality merge. It sounds dark, it sounds creepy, it sounds like exactly what I'd want in some short stories. Lagom by Lola A. Akerstrom. Maybe I'm saying that right? Look how pretty that book is. Lagom is the Swedish secret of living well. It's a way of living that promotes harmony and sustainability, being satisfied with what you've got, and it encourages you to make small, simple changes in your everyday life for a more balanced and happier way of living. sounds good to me, because I know I'm the sort of person where I'm never happy with where I am. I'm hoping this will give me a little bit more peace of mind in my general life. We Are All Completely Beside Ourselves by Karen J. Fowler. This tells the story of Rosemary, who is currently at college, but she feels the need to revisit her past so that she can move on with her future. When she was 5, she was sent away to her grandparents, and when she returned, her sister was no longer there. So this sounds a bit creepy. I'm not sure of any more than that, and I don't want to be. It's one of those where I think I'm going to be glad that I don't really know anything. And finally, in my used book haul, is Norwegian Wood by Haruki Murakami. So Tora Watanabe, he's an old song and is immediately transported back to his first love, Nako, who was his best friend's girlfriend. Back in his student days, it was all uneasy friendships, casual sex, and loss and desire. So the back of the book says anyway. So he meets this woman called Midori, who comes into his life, forcing him to choose between his future or his past. Again, that's all I know on that one. I don't really want to know anymore. Sounds pretty interesting. The reason I bought that one was because when I was in the shop with my friend Rin, she was the one that said it was amazing and I should buy it, so I did. So that is it for my used book haul. Thank you for staying with me and watching. If you want to chat about any of the books in the comments, please do. I do like chatting to you all. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and please subscribe, and I'll be back soon. Big hugs. Bye.